We pay your guys' wage. We voted for you. We can vote you out.
Amen.
Okay,
And then
we can stop this meeting. I've already asked you folks. We'd like to call Senator Chris Treacle, if you may come up, please.
So, before you waste taxpayer money, before you put a kid in harm's way, you better throw this policy out and not even consider. I've got the floor. Ms. Pacino, will you please listen to me?
Sir,
Yeah, you claim you want people to follow the rules, but you break the rules left and right. Last month, you allowed two people
all
to
right,
speak.
we will
without
recess
being
this
on the
meeting.
list.
We will recess for 15 minutes.
This is who you listen to.
Okay, can you turn him off? Okay, so I would like to call vote.
can
All those
talk
in
more,
favor,
but that
please
mic-
say aye.
Let D3 know that the 13th Papa from the other night with the vest on, the guy that follows us around, he's back.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Open Government Investigations. Today, we'll be jumping into a school board meeting that occurred on January 9th of 2023 involving the Caldwell School District. The school board members consist of Andrew Butler, Manuel Godina, Maricela Pacina, Patricia Robertson, and Travis Manning. The school superintendent, Shailene French, was also in attendance. Their contact information will be made available at the end of this video. I will also be uploading the entirety of the school board meeting and linking it in the description below. Students and parents were invited to speak about a new policy regarding transgender use of the school bathrooms. Now, I will remain unbiased about my opinion on the subject, and this means that I will not provide my own opinion on the morality or ethicality of the subject, nor will I provide a comment on my stance. Now, the chairwoman, Maricela Pacina, explains to the citizens attending the meeting with the procedures and rules regarding public speaking. Let's hear what she has to say about this.
We will take public comment for no more than 1 hour. Those that live in the Caldwell School District will be the ones that speak first. Please come forward to the microphone to present here and state your name and, of course, the city of your residence. So, each person will have the floor for a maximum of 3 minutes. We ask that there be no applause or any calling out during or after presentation. Please face and address the board, not the audience. So be respectful. Do not personally attack or address board members, district administrators, staff, district staff, or audience members. If you would like to give the board more information than time permits, please reduce your concerns to written form and send them to the board clerk.
Okay, now that the gist of the rules for speaking have been established, let's see what other people had to say.
I have Patricia Daniel. Okay, and ma'am, Caldwell? Yep. Okay, if you want to come up to the podium.
schools are local control and should not be dictated by federal funding. It's travesty against our children and youth. It's an age inappropriate and it's indoctrination into the occult. It's immoral child exploitation. It's a constitutional right of the parents to raise their children with their own moral values and without the imposition of alternate lifestyles of instruction in educational system. It's kind of a force to us to change it, our society. And we as a family, as a believers, we're not gonna be allowed that. No, in our state, which is Idaho. We are conservatives and we don't want anybody to come here and impose ideas to us, and especially to our children. We are free to raise our children the way that we wanted to do it. No imposition by no one. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I stated, please do not applaud. Please, no speaking out. I have next Tammy Dittenberg.
Madam Chair, trustees, Dr. French, thank you for your time. At the last trustee meeting, a state senator stated that the district trustees lack authority to enact district policy and that only the Idaho State Board of Education possesses that. I know you all know better than that. Not only are you authorized, but you have an entire statewide organization to train, advise, and support you in exercising that authority. The policy complies with federal law, executive guidance, and case law on the books, some since the early 1980s. Some of the most politically conservative districts in Idaho, including the Bonneville and Teton districts, adopted nearly identical policies more than 5 years ago. As of today, more districts in the state have adopted the policy than haven't, and no bad thing happened. If parents are concerned their students are not being forthcoming with them, but are discussing their gender struggles with school officials, my suggestion is they get introspective as to why their child is not comfortable disclosing that in their home. We should lead with love, civility, and understanding. It seems the least we can do. Our children and grandchildren do. They are grossly less reactionary and far more understanding of these issues than we are. They get it. I would ask you to follow their lead. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next person that we have is Brittany, is it Gish?
For the record, America is a constitutional republic, not a democracy. So I was very angry and had planned on expressing that anger, but after some more thought and some prayer, I feel a different approach would be more successful. I believe that for the most part, the locals and other Americans believe that by instating these policies, they are truly being loving, kind, accepting, and inclusive. However, as good as your intentions may be, this is not the case. No person can truly become another gender. Yes, they can dress like another gender. They can identify as another gender. They can even get surgery to try and be another gender. But the truth is they will never actually be another gender. So imagine the disappointment and anger when, let's say, a young man whose brain isn't fully developed yet decides he feels very uncomfortable in his body and thinks he was meant to be a girl. And instead of receiving the guidance, counseling, and mental health help he needs, he's told by people he trusts, counselors, teachers, school boards, that yes, they understand and accept that, all in the name of inclusivity. So he begins taking hormones and later gets surgery only to find out his genitals don't actually work like female genitals. And now his hormones are completely out of whack. He's feeling confused and depressed and even worse than he felt before, except now there's no going back because his genitals have been mutilated. This is why we shouldn't support these policies in general. And not only that, but how do we gauge? Where do we draw the line? So now boys know if they claim they identify as a girl, they get to dress and undress with the girls, leaving our female children exposed to predators. I'm very unsure of how anyone could think this is a good idea because it is clearly very problematic. Please do not adopt these policies as they are harmful to every child involved.
Thank you, Ms. Gish. Please, I've already said no applause. And we will recess or adjourn if folks, I've stated the protocol. Please follow the protocol. The next person that we have is Kelly McDaniel.
So just a few comments on the proposed policy number 3281. There were many comments made by folks prior to me that I will echo. There are some general concerns. First, it's unclear where this policy was initiated and where the language in the policy actually came from. There is also a concern in the community that this policy is being created with personal motivation by one or more board members. We hope this is not the case, but we'll be looking into that. And the fact that a person can have male or female genitalia, but have the delusion that they are of the opposite of what they in fact are, raises serious mental health concerns as well as serious safety issues.
I have, is it Brisen Festa?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I am a civil rights and constitutional law attorney. I am the co-founder and vice president of We the Patriots USA, a nonprofit public interest law firm that is now headquartered in Caldwell. We file lawsuits against those enacting policies mandates, and laws that are unconstitutional. We have lawsuits from New York to California. Now, here's the main problem that I have with this policy. And I'm here speaking not to you as an attorney. I am here speaking to you as a parent of a student in the Caldwell School District. This policy seeks to present a religious view that is in opposition to my family's religious viewpoints. We teach our children that a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl, and that God created only two of them, male and female created he them. If you have a teacher so much as saying to another student in the classroom, not my son even, another student, that is a girl, we're going to call that boy by a girl's name and a girl's pronoun. What you are doing is you are now teaching him a religious belief that is in opposition to my own religious beliefs, my family's religious beliefs. Even if it's not said directly to my son, if it is said in his presence, you are teaching him something that is the opposite of my family's religious beliefs. This policy violates the free exercise of religion clause of the First Amendment, as well as the establishment of religion clause of the First Amendment. And it also violates the free speech clause, not this policy necessarily, but policy number 4105, because you're seeking to further restrict the ability of these people to speak at your meetings. There's a lot of things that are in that policy that violate the First Amendment. So thank you.
Thank you for your input. We appreciate it. We have a Linda McConnell.
I was very, very upset when I found out that this was going on. I've raised all my kids through Caldwell. I have lived here since 1970. And it really bothers me that here they can come up with all this junk. We're to teach the children, period. Reading, writing, arithmetic, science, government. That's what you're supposed to be doing. We don't have time for this other foolishness. So I'm looking at it this way. Governor Little today said, oh, we got a whole bunch of surplus money. So he says, oh, well, we'll put a big share toward education. He said education, not all this other stuff. So my view is then, since we've got all that, then let's put in separate bathrooms if you're going to have a problem. We'll put in a new school if you're having a problem. And if that'll take down a little bit of surplus. And furthermore, we can just, otherwise we just close the regular schools and it can be done. It's been done. So that's what I got to say. More likely more, but I can't think right now. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate your input. No, at this time we have Kathy. Sir, there is no dialogue between the audience and the board. So at this time we have Kathy Nelson.
Say good evening, and I oppose 3281. You take God out of schools, this is what happens. So if God can't be in schools, this should not be in schools also. Teaching is for reading, writing, and arithmetic. It is not to sexualize our kids. That is not what our tax dollars are to go for. Another thing, we pay your guys' wage. We voted for you. We can vote you out.
Amen.
Okay.
And then
We can stop this meeting. I've already asked you folks. And just for the record, we don't get paid.
well,
So there you go. Okay, go
we
ahead.
vote you out. You're not going to escape it in any way. So thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you for your input.
So, we can see that people had the opportunity to address their opinions on the matter, and every citizen who spoke did so in a respectful manner. There were moments where the crowd showed their support for a speaker's opinion, and during those times, Maricela Pacina would step in. Now, it's rather interesting what happens towards the end of the stream. Idaho Senator Chris Trakell had an opportunity to speak, and here's what he had to say.
We'd like to call Senator Chris Trinkle, if you may come up, please.
Before my time starts, I want to just address the rules that you guys put forward. For instance, you said you can't criticize employees or anything like that. The Supreme Court ruled back in 1983 that any government public forum, which this is an official forum, anybody can say whatever they want, and that includes, and they specifically said this in the case, criticizing school district employees and the board. So by telling them you can't, you're violating all these people's First Amendment rights.
Sir.
No, that's how it goes. So my name's
Chair.
Chris Trinkle. I live at 2019 Fairview Avenue. First, I want to talk about policy 2520 about the curriculum. I'm hoping it's just some oversight, but in there, according to Idaho law 33-512, one half of the curriculum committee has to be made up by parents, not a quarter. So you guys need to go back and check that. That's Idaho law. And then on top of that as well, you're striking out the part that says that you're not legally responsible for providing the materials and stuff like that. I like to point out also 33-512, section 3, you are legally to provide materials to the school children and the school boards. So why you guys are striking that out, I don't know, but you are legally responsible for it. It's Idaho statute. Now, to get on to the exciting part of 3280, I like to discuss, last time I came here as a parent, but I don't get afforded that right because people like to attack me and use my official position instead. So I'm here on my official position. You, under Idaho law, are required to maintain the morals and health of all the students. How can you do that when, like that little girl came up here and said, and you allow a male to use a female bathroom? You're going to put all of their moral health and safety at risk. And like I told you before, you will face litigation. You called that a threat. I'm telling you, that is what will happen. It's already happened in several states, and there's already been rulings on it. So before you waste taxpayer money, before you put a kid in harm's way, you better throw this policy out and not even consider. I've got the floor. Ms. Pacino, will you please listen to me?
Sir.
Yeah, you claim you want people to follow the rules, but you break the rules left and right. Last month, you allowed 2 people to speak.
We will
without
recess
being
this
on the
meeting
list.
right now.
You do not get to demand to follow the rules and break them yourself.
We will recess for 15 minutes. I'm sorry, we have asked, you absolutely know the protocol.
You're not following protocol yourself.
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Your people are speaking. He still has 37 minutes left.
A second.
Okay, we have a second.
Real
All those
fast,
in
I'm going to
favor,
quote
please
section
say aye.
74201, the people of the state of Idaho and creating the instruments
Yes,
of their
I will
government
ask,
that serve them do not yield the sovereignty
Sir,
to the agencies so
I'm gonna
created.
call vote.
This is who you listen to.
Okay, can you turn him off? Okay, so I would like to call vote.
can
All those
talk
in
loud,
favor,
but that
please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, meeting has been adjourned. Meeting is adjourned.
You shouldn't be around children. You shouldn't. You should be held accountable. Red shirts while the men can follow you in there. We are going to come back. Fake news, interview the senator. Boo! Boo on all of you! This is absurd! Boo! Who are you to say you get to adjourn
I did find another portion of this meeting to be somewhat concerning, especially for citizens who live in the state of Idaho. Vice Chairman Travis Manning brought up the fact that not all school boards in the state of Idaho allow public speaking at public school board meetings.
Madam Chair, I do have some thoughts that I'd like to share
Okay.
before we begin patron input. The Caldwell School Board and District have a long history of allowing public and patron input at its school board meetings. Some Idaho school boards do not. So why would the Caldwell School Board and District allow for patron input during its board meetings? Why would the Caldwell School Board and District post the board packet of materials digitally for the world to see on its website? Why would the board and the district post the text of all the proposed draft policies? The answer, because this is your school system. Know that the Caldwell School Board is in listening mode. That's why we have proposed policies, so that we can hear from the public on those, their perspective.
I don't know about you, but that sounds like an abridgment to freedom of speech, as well as an abridgment to the right to redress grievances. What's your thoughts on the situation? Do you think Maricela Pacina was right or wrong? Was Senator Chris Trakell right or wrong? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on Facebook, please make sure you follow our page and don't forget to react to this video and share it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you like this video and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We'll see you in the next video.